So hello everybody, it is me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq. And if you guys have watched our podcast that we did earlier, where we were not live, you can see that it looks like Donovan has recovered. I don't know, I'll let him tell you. But nevertheless, the purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always try to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you viewers, but you are your participants, I should say. And sometimes we do share the link. I've not shared the link in a long time. Maybe we'll share it today. But if I do share the link and I've never, ever seen you on here before and your profile looks like this, please show me this. And then you can go back to that. If you're not comfortable, just know that no one else can see you but me, not even Donovan, until I bring you onto the big screen. Also, in the comment section and on the panel, it's not that we disagree, it's how we disagree. So let's be as respectful as we can to one another so we can have a civil discourse here. Of course, you guys know that this is the tail end of election season, where the election will take place on November 5th, from federal all the way down to local, right? I voted yesterday early, so I'm glad to have gotten that out of the way. But nevertheless, there's still just so much going on. You have these candidates going on all types of podcasts here, there, everywhere. Oh my God. I will tell y'all right now that I'm sick and tired of talking about this, to be honest with you, but it's kind of our job. So we're going to continue to talk about it up until and even after the election. But today, we're going to talk about Kamala Harris telling Black men not to think that they're in Donald Trump's club. Of course, she had this conversation on Club Shay Shay for the hour interview that they had. So I'm going to show you a small snippet of it. And the question is, she says that you're not in Donald Trump's club. Are you guys in her club? Whatever club that may be. So who do we have on here before I give it to Donovan Vogel? How you doing? Thunder, what's going on with you? Queen L says, did she lie? I don't know. You tell me. Hey, Brother Troy, how you doing? Tracy, what's going on with you? Greg S. How you doing? Says, who the hell said Black men wanted to be in Donald Trump's club? All we ever said is we're not voting for her. Laugh out loud. Yes, indeed. And Queen L, you says, I went to Walmart today, no political gear on, just a Black woman, a white man, and a Trump shirt was mean mugging me. Oh my God. And sticking middle finger up at elderly Black women. Lord have mercy. Donovan, how are you today?
Doing good. I'm a little tired. Like I said, I got Benny and training a puppy. He's only been with me 2.5 weeks, and he's catching on pretty fast, but he still has that independence thing. So I'm not getting a lot of sleep as I'm making sure he goes outside and getting in routine to do what he's got to do. That plus dealing with this political stuff is exhausting. As you know, I'm very involved in my local politics, and I'm helping out politicians in my local area as well. Doing the best I can with that because I am politically involved. But besides all that, let's get the preliminaries out of the way. Do us a favor. If you guys like some of the stuff you hear on here and just want and like these conversations, there's ways you guys can donate if you would like to. You can Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, money order, cash, credit. We do it all, but it helps the content creator continue to make these great conversations. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get that on Google Play and the Apple Store, where you can see other additional great videos from Demetra K, Brother Phil Scott, and the whole production team that produces for the thing. Or you can do like me and go straight to the YouTube channel and subscribe there and download and do what you got to do there, and you could become a member there. And I think that's going to be very important, because if you guys watched our last show, this election is going to be over in a week. It's going to be over in a week. But guess what? That is not the end of your political responsibility. So if you have not registered to vote, please register to vote. We're not here to tell you how to vote. If you vote for Kamala, great. If you vote for Donald Trump, great. If you vote for the Green Party, great. If you vote for yourself, even better. Even better. It doesn't matter, because you got to remember, it's not just the presidential election. Still have congressional elections happen every 2 years. In your city, mayor, council member, you got all these elections that are basically going on every year. So, you know, your political and civic duty is not done just because it's a political year. So what's going on with me is a lot of great stuff. Like I said, I will be so glad when this election is over. A lot of people are crashing out between family members and friends, and it's just ridiculous and it's sad. But the point of the matter is, if you're blue MAGA, if you're red MAGA, you can at least say this one thing. With 15% of the Black vote going away from Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party, because it isn't really about Kamala Harris, it's about the Democratic policy and the party itself. They panicked when they saw the numbers of people that are not supporting the Democratic Party, because as we know, the Democrats cannot win unless they have 90% of the Black vote or more. When you're polling at 78% of the Black vote, Black men and women, it's panic time. And look how quick they were to put up a BS Black man agenda because they were polling so bad. So now we have leverage, and we're not gonna fall for that. When I get into office, you're gonna give us tangibles before you get in there. You're just not gonna get our vote. So Demetra, this is gonna be an interesting conversation. So let's get into it.
Yeah, I see there's a lot of interesting people who have showed up to the chat. Queen L being one of them.
Wait, I don't want to cut you off. Oh yeah, and by the way, one more week for the Democratic shills to continue to get their money. I don't know what they're going to do after that.
Right. So Queen L, Big C. I'm about to block you, Big C. But I just want you to know that if you're still on here, you about to get blocked. And anybody else who's not on here to have a conversation, I don't care that you disagree, you vote for Kamala. I don't care about that. But if you're gonna come on here acting a donkey, I'm just gonna block you so you don't have to stress yourself out. If that helps you, okay? Because you ain't gonna stress me out. I'm just gonna keep it.
Wait a minute. She has to troll on so many pages before she get her little $5.
And that's fine, but I'm neither here or there with it. But I'm not gonna be here for her foolishness. She gonna troll herself into block land is what's gonna happen to her. So respectfully. Anyway, STW, yeah, you're telling her they're telling people to vote your interest, right? And if people want to sit on the couch, that's their right to do that. They can do whatever they want. Extreme X, how you doing? Yes, you've noticed it as well. Lance, how you doing? Said it's about her too. Quicks, how you doing? Says I grew up in middle class. Mom was a professor, but I didn't grow up in Montreal with an Indian Hindu mother, so not in her Canadian upper middle class club. Okay, Dano, how you doing? All right. Aquamarine, how you doing? Says they still haven't met with Ice Cube. No, they're not going to. They lied, Pam is jamming, how you doing? I don't even think Ice Cube was interested in meeting with them at this point, right? He's gone on to do other stuff. Pop, how you doing? Are you here to behave today? Brother Rodney, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. You say the house troll cat, big lady C. Oh, okay. Is that as social? Oh, she's a troll, a known troll. Okay, Doe, how you doing? Brother Norris, how you doing? Says, voted for Trump. My family's heads are exploding. He's about my interest. And Thunder says, I voted my conscience and my interest. It felt great. Yes, absolutely. And Queen L says, I wish y'all the best after the election. Well, we wish you the best too. Kevin says, what tangibles has any of them offered and actually followed through? Sandy says, it's a new day. So anyway, Rodney says, Trump all the way. And again, y'all saw Donovan's hat. That's Donovan's hat. He feels compelled to wear it. Y'all see, I don't have a hat on, so I just want to keep it at that. Onco TV, how you doing? So let's get to this little short video. It's nothing major. Just want to ask a basic question. So here we go.
Trump's club. You're not.
Right.
Hold on, let me go back.
Don't think you're in Donald Trump's club. You're not.
Right.
He's not going to be thinking about you. You think he's having you over for dinner? You think that when he's with his buddies, his billionaire buddies, he's thinking about what we need?
Okay, so he basically said that, and that actually was in response to Black men. He asked her a question about Black men, and she basically said, you're not in Donald Trump club. You basically ain't going to be able to sit with him. He ain't going to invite you over to dinner. So as I saw that, I was like, well, are Black men in her club? Now I want to state the obvious. Kamala ain't married to no Black man. So, are they in her club? Can Black men go sit at her table and eat her greens? And, cut up on her turkey with the gravy and all. Can y'all do that with hers? Like, what are you talking about right now? Of course, Kamala and the Democrats are having a little bit of a time with getting Black men on board. Now, when I say Black men, of course, still the majority of Black male voters seem like they are voting for her to the tune of about 78%, depending on what poll you believe, right? So she still does have a lion's share of Black male voters, but not like Biden, Hillary, or Obama, right? And of course, you had a lot of people come out like Obama, Magic Johnson, Spike Lee, Van, and just a whole host of people coming out and admonishing black men for not wanting to go all in for Kamala. You even heard Van Jones when it first kicked off saying how they were going to defend Kamala. If anybody disrespects her, they not going to have it. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. So she's basically telling black men, y'all, what are you going to vote for Donald Trump for? He doesn't even like you. And then she went on to cite that of the Central Park Five and how, he didn't want to rent to black people and things like that. But again, as I thought about it, I was like, well, does she consider black men in her club? Donovan, then I'm going to get to these comments.
Wait a minute. She brought up the Central Park Five and how Donald Trump did not want to rent to black people, which is a good point. That is a very, very valid point. And it's something that, I would consider when I vote or I look at somebody's character, right? But did Joe Biden not write every consequential crime bill since 1973 that affected black people to the millions and still affects a lot of black men today, and hung out with Dixiecrats that fought against the civil rights and civil rights legislation? But we can forgive that because, remember, everybody? That was then. A person can change. Why is it that when it comes to things that are opposed to what the Democrats want, it's, he's just a bad person, it happened years ago, whatever? And I'm not making excuses for Donald Trump. What I'm saying is, where's the fairness and where's the parallel? They bring up Trump, what he did allegedly, it really was his father. He was just named in the suit. But the point is, he was alleged in the suit to discriminate against black people. But at the same time, you didn't bring up Joe Biden's record, and he still was able to be president and do everything that he's doing. And then, of course, didn't Joe Biden say, if it wasn't for black people, you stood by me, so I'm going to stand by you? We're still waiting for you to do something for us, since we're the ones that saved your campaign when you had no money and we put you in the White House. I'm just thinking it's just kind of crazy how she does that. But then again, how do you go to black men specifically and you say, we need to vote for this woman who's non-black, blah, 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 whatever she is. But yet the Democratic mantra for the last 60 years in regards to black men is, girl, you don't need no black man. Black men ain't shit. Girl, you could do it on your own. Feminism's number one. You don't need no man. Sounds like to me, when it's election time, sounds like you need a man now. That's what I don't understand, the hypocrisy. You dog out black men by Democratic policy, but then you demand black men vote against their interests if they don't want to vote for you. It just doesn't make sense.
Yes, indeed. And let's see, Big Bad Fresno. Yes, I am on Facebook as well. So if you feel more comfortable going over to Facebook, yes, I am. I think I am. I'm over there on Facebook. So Brenda, how you doing? Says, okay, what have Democrats done for black men? He says, absolutely nothing but that cell block number. Sorry. Right. Roddy, you crazy. You talk about some bath water, gravy, yummy with those greens. Y'all wilding. And Thunder says, question is, are you thinking about us and are we in your club? Yeah, that's the real question, And I think that's kind of been a question with Kamala from this point on. It's like, okay, you talk about Trump. Okay, let's just say he's a horrible guy. He's horrible, the devil himself. What about you? Tell us about you, right? Now, I know she came out with the black man plan that's really for everybody else, but it's like, doggone well, black men couldn't sit at your club. They couldn't, and up until recently, the Democrats have been ignoring black men until enough black men got their attention. So, you keep talking about how horrible, and somebody made a good point. Let me see who it was, because I want to make sure, and I blocked Big C because they just get on my nerves. Black American expat, he says Trump sat at the table with many black men. Now, that's a fact. It's a fact. I'm not saying Kamala hasn't done it, but to try to, use that as a talking point as to why you shouldn't be voting for him. Again, tell people why they should be voting for you, and I don't think she's proven her case. Queen Ellie says, so y'all don't like others' opinions, so you make it so I can't comment. Listen, don't get in your feelings, sis. All I'm saying is come over here, act like you got some sense. You're coming over here hot. You know, you're coming in hot. And we're going to meet you where you are, or we just going to block you, right? Like, I don't have the energy to really go back and forth with a lot of people. I don't care that you disagree. As I said at the beginning, it's how you disagree. But you come in here wilding and thinking more of yourself than you ought to in the chat, then yeah, I'm just going to make sure, like I said, you don't stress yourself out, because I don't want that for you. Anyway, Avi Chill, I hope I said the right. How you doing? It says there, that's hard to believe because most of the black people I know are not going to vote for fake black woman called Kamala. Yeah, well, whether she black, white, green, or whatever, what's she gonna do for black people, right? Call dog. I hope I said that right. How you doing? Says she don't even like us. You know what? I've always had that perception of her. I don't really think she likes black people much. I also said that about Michelle Obama. I don't think she really liked black people like that either. Dwayne, how you doing? Says she don't talk about how she lock up black men, or she think that is love. Well, you know, she might.
Yeah, you know, and you bring up Michelle Obama. To tell black women to undermine their black men when they go into the voting booth, that's the wrong message to send. It's a message of rebellion. And I'm not telling people they're going to vote the way they want to vote. That's irregardless. We're not saying, but there's a lot of people in their household that they listen to their spouse and they're going to do what their spouse says. So, you know, it's like she's throwing all this division out there and giving the wrong information to younger people or people who maybe weak-minded to, you know, I mean, has the Democratic Party gotten that desperate to where you're willing to sow division within people's families? It's just sad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And David, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. And Kelly, what's going on with you? Dano, you says 100. And Thunder says, preach, brother Donovan. And Brandy, how you doing? Long time no see. He says, big time hypocrisy. Yes, indeed. And Thunder says, you don't need no man. Looks like that didn't age very well. Extreme Action says, I'm glad you're seeing the celebrities who are selling out. Yeah, I just think it's like kind of like a last ditch effort. Like we got to get out here and do and say something, right? Less than a week to go at this point.
Right. And you got to remember, in politics, you got to use that money or it has to sit there. So they got to spend this money. It is alleged that Beyonce was paid $10 million to do a 5-minute speech. Now, if you were in if you were in that situation, what would you do? I'd do the speech too.
Yeah, I didn't see that she was, so I don't know if that's true, because I heard that. I was like, wow, that's interesting. I didn't see if she was or not. I don't know. I haven't seen anything that said that she was, but I haven't seen anything that said she wasn't either. So there you go. And Renario, I see you saying also, and hey, Lady Diana, how you doing? You're saying that the comedian that did Trump's thing is a registered Democrat and supporting Kamala. I haven't seen anything like that either, but that sure would be interesting. All right, moving right along. Let's see here. Who else came on here? Queen of Diane, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Diane, what's going on with you? Let's see. NHB, how you doing? Says, don't stress yourself. Yeah, I mean, what you over here stressing yourself out? Like you're gonna raise your blood pressure over people you don't know? That's the crazy part. It is. Like you don't know me, you don't know Donovan. I don't think she know anybody in this chat, but she out here doing the Tasmanian devil for what? We don't really care like that. And you're going to stress yourself, you're going to raise your blood pressure. Like, why would you give us that kind of power? I mean, I think that's something you instead of you crashing out for Kamala over here, I think you really need to ask yourself, why do I concede my personal power and emotions to strangers? I think that's really your problem, sis. Yiko, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Black American Expat says, I'll vote for a plate of collard greens before I vote for Harris. Well, damn. Brother Damon, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see who else came on here. Barney, how you doing? Says, okay, cool. Found the live chat on Facebook, sending them your way. Okay, good. Lady Diana says, I'm not an RRD, a Republican or Democrat, but this time I voted down the list for all Republican because the Democrats haven't done anything for me or mine in forever. There you go. And some people just felt like they need to vote that way. Now, me, admittedly, I voted all over, right? Different candidates here, there, and everywhere. But y'all know for a fact that I did not vote for Kamala. That's what I can say. Marvin,
Wait a minute. You came to California. Did you vote in 2 states, Demetra?
I surely did not.
Okay, I'm not saying.
You ain't finna get
I'm
me
not thinking, wait a
Catholic.
minute. You came to California, and then you skedaddled out of here pretty quick.
I voted here in Texas, okay? The last time I voted in California because I was still a resident, okay? But no, sir. Thunder says, what I have noticed is there's a change. There's no longer calling us black males. They're calling us black men, right? Put some respect on your name. All right. So, all right, let me go all the way down. Michelle W. How you doing? Says Beyonce's speech was not heartfelt. She seemed like they didn't want to be there. Kelly Rowland was dressed like a man, looking like Morticia Adams from the Addams Family. A hot mess. Yeah, I didn't understand that at all. Yeah, it was very dry.
It's alleged that she's with child. That's what's alleged. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it looked very masculine. Jupiter, how you doing? It says, good evening, Demetri K. Harris. Lose the election and popular vote. I just want to see the Shields reaction and denial reaction, laugh my ass off. Well, I don't know. She may win. It's a possibility she may win. We never know, but it's going to be interesting on both sides, no matter who wins or who loses. Queen Ellie says, talk about the policies. You talk about the policies. You came over here like a crash test dummy crashing out and ain't mentioned one policy for Kamala, and you telling me to mention them? I know Kamala's policies. What are her policies since you are feeling a certain type of way about what we saying? I mean, I'm just saying, you like what? But more than anything, calm down before you have a stroke. Don't have a stroke on my account. JJ, how you doing? So just go to show you how incredibly simple-minded many black folks are. A famous celebrity tells you how to vote. Yeah, it's like, what is really going on? And like I said, Kamala was on the Breakfast Club today talking about Beyonce, Bad Bunny, Jennifer Lopez, and Quavo. They've all endorsed me. And I was like, oh, well, since you put it that way, Kamala. Anyway, let's see here. JB1, how you doing? It says, caught the live. Yes, you did. JR Meadows, how you doing? You said both parties are against us, period. Nah, I would agree with you on that. Yeah, you will never get a disagreement from me on that. Chairman X, how you doing? Says the Curry Queen should have stayed in Congress career done Tuesday. I don't know. It remains to be seen. That red boy, how you doing? Says Kelly had on a Lori Lightfoot chopper suit. My daughter said the same thing. She said she had on the looking like Lori Lightfoot. Is like, Pixie Glam, how you doing?
Oh, you mean Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice for real. Pixie Glam, how you doing? Says the most high 2024 and forever. Yes, indeed. Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? Peace and love to you as well. Brenda Starr says she wins, and this country is over with. Yeah, it's going to be a rude awakening for a whole lot of people. Michelle says, regardless if she's pregnant or not, she looked awful in that big suit looking like Beyonce's boyfriend, and Beyonce had on a skirt that was way too short. Yeah, it definitely was a kind of yin and yang, masculine, feminine type thing. It was just odd. I don't know what the premise of that was. Maybe she's debuting something off of the Paris runway or something, she being Michelle, but it was weird. Black American Expat says, why they not concerned about who white men vote for? I see them both at Harris and Trump rallies. No one telling them how to vote. That's because they don't have any respect for the black man. They don't. And that goes way back in history. Seeing the black man as a simpleton. Or he doesn't know what he's doing. He can't think for himself. We got to tell him what to do, what to think, and all of that, and that the black man really start to wake up and say, hold on. Not that y'all was ever asleep like that, but in a narrative that they have drawn for black men, and that you guys will start to say, nah, we not asleep. They really have to start rearranging how they see black men, but unfortunately, it might be too late. It all really remains to be seen. In fact, I saw where in Georgia, they said the black voter turnout is not where it was this time last year. So in Georgia, that's problematic, especially since black people kind of showed up and showed out for Warnock and, and all of that. So it just kind of remains to be seen. Hey, Brother Stephen, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Tell your wife we said hello. Let's see. Brina, you say Kamala allegedly works with cartel. Not saying it's true, but think about the drugs in San Francisco and why the borders are open and who is coming in. Well, I ain't heard that one. We're going to put a big allegedly on that because I haven't heard anything about that. In fact, I've heard her say that she's prosecuted the cartel and shut them down and, like Foxy Brown style, kind of way I envision it. Brother Reggie, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Your average logical thinker, what is going on with you? Are you overslept, Reggie? Well, it happens. You guys are, Japan is like 8 hours ahead of us. Man, it took me forever to acclimate back to American time zone. It took me like 2 weeks to get back to regular sleep schedule after we left Japan. It was horrible. BJ Riggs, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. So that's all the comments that I have so far. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think that Kamala considers black men to be in her club either. As I said, she's not married to one, I guess, but she's really going hard in the paint against that of Trump. And I guess that's par for the course. That's what they do, right? Last week until election. And then she's going on somebody else's pod. She's going on Steve Harvey's podcast in the morning. But he already told us, right? He says, I'm a lob her the questions. I'm gonna give her, softball questions. So it's like, what Steve Harvey, why would we tune in for that? It's just gonna be the same old. Sounds like she was supposed to go on Joe Rogan, but she set some terms. She said that she only wants to do an hour and she needed Joe Rogan to travel to her. But Joe was like, it's not that she declined or I declined, is that she wanted to do it on her terms. And he's like, I feel like I can't have a good conversation to get to know who she is in an hour, and she needs to come to me. I feel better doing it in Austin where my studio is, opposed to, I forget where they wanted him to meet. But so he says, if we can get it done within the time before the election, then I'd love to have her on the show. So we're going to see a whole lot unfold. All right, let me get back into the comments section. Michelle says, a black lady in Maxine Water District said years ago that the cartel has paid Maxine off to turn her head to the drugs that are sold in her district. I'm gonna just put allegedly on that.
Yeah, I just answered that's unfortunately that's not true. It's misinformation, as the Democrats say. That's not true for the simple fact that Maxine Waters is a congresswoman. She has no power when it comes to the cities that she represents in Congress. A congressperson's job is to bring resources back to their district. That's about it. But she has no power when it comes to getting bribes from the cartel, whatever. If you want to control a city and local things, that's the mayor, the city council, and the local thing. Maxine Waters, any congressman has no power when it comes over the electorate in that aspect.
Yeah, they going to Washington to bring home the bacon for the district. So they operate more so on a federal level. So a good call, Donovan. Of course, Donovan knows what there is to know. Lavina, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It says probably because of all, so I think a lot of black men, and I know several who they say they are voting for Trump due to the stimmy. Does that not mean they don't know if that's the only reason for voting for him? Seems out of ignorance that they don't know. Even if they are saying that they want to vote for Trump because of the stimmy. Of course, it was given during the Trump administration, but it was given out by Congress. Trump did put his name on the stimulus check. Biden gave out the other half or a portion of the stimulus check that helped people during the pandemic, right? So a lot of people have cited that was the reason that they are voting for Trump. But even with that, that is their reason for doing so, right? Whatever their reason is. And again, the Democrats' talking point is democracy's in danger. Democracy means that you have a say-so. You get to vote for however you want. But again, there's white men, Indian men, Hispanic men, everybody, they got their own reasons as to why they want to vote for Trump or, not vote for Kamala. And nobody is ridiculing them like they do black men. And I think that's the question that needs to be answered. Why is that? The Indian community, which she's half of, right? So she says they're like voting in thirds. Some say they're going to vote for her. Some say they're going to vote for Trump. Some say they're not voting at all. But nobody's going to their community and saying, oh, you stupid. Oh, you ignorant. How dare. Nobody's doing that to them. But black men, yeah, they getting their tailbone kicked in from every which way but loose. And my thing is, why would they, what is that an incentive to make them vote, like shaming them? Oh my God, you want to vote for Trump? And like Donovan, he's got his hat on because he said a friend sent it to him as a joke and they ridiculed him. And Donovan's been upfront, like, I'm voting for Trump as a protest to the Democrats. So he's more or less like, okay, bet. I'm gonna wear this hat then since y'all think it's funny. But again, they're mad that he's even doing it. So I don't know. Brother Reddy says 13 hours ahead of Eastern time. Yes. So he says we'll be 14 hours ahead when you change the clock. Whew. Yeah, so that was a hell of a time change for me to adjust back to. I was up in the middle of the night cleaning up and stuff. I was like, this is crazy. Yukaway says, I hope Y'all doing good, brothers and sisters. Oh, sorry if I missed you. Salute. Oh, okay, everybody's doing. Tia, how you doing? It says Bucks County. Hold on a second. Pennsylvania Democrats are sending uniformed police to shut down polling stations while voters are waiting in lines for early voting. Yikes.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of all the, I think it was in Seattle, they're burning the ballot boxes and stuff and the receiving boxes and stuff. Like, all these things are starting to happen now. And we've been warning you guys, especially you ladies that are leading your families, you've got to find a way to protect your families because people are going to be doing a lot of stupid things out there. And so they were burning ballots up in Seattle. A lot of nefarious things are going to be taking place. A lot of people are going to be wilding out. And it's just getting crazier and crazier out here. So, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Brother Reggie says Joe don't interview outside of the studio. And that's pretty much what he said because there was a lot of rumors going around that she didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. He says, nah, she need to meet me where I'm at. That's where everybody else does. They come to me and I don't want to meet her anywhere for an hour. The spiel is 3 hours and she can't give me that. He says, because I need to get to know her, right? I'm not going to be one of those ones to keep asking her, so
the same question, the same questions.
What happened when you got the call? Oh, I was doing a puzzle with my babies.
And that's two different stories. If you guys have been following her interviews, she has two different stories of that.
And and if y'all don't mind me asking, you Kamala supporters, do y'all not have a problem with her? As Brother Greg said, she's a definition of talking black but sleeping white. Do y'all have a problem with that? She laid up in the bed with a whole white man, and that's her business. That is her business. Yes, it is. But then she got so much to say to black men. Do y'all have a problem with that? Does that strike a chord with you? Does it bother you? Like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? I just want to know. Big Dog Production, how you doing? He says she went on Club Shay Shay. Yep, and that's where that actually came from. Patrice, how you doing? Says New York Post reported Kamala's father stated the illegal immigration. Yes, I saw that affects the black community. The father lives 2 miles from Kamala, but they rarely speak. Kamala do not support black men. Yeah, by now I'm thinking of daddy will come out and say, listen, I don't F with her. Yes, my daughter, we got our issues, but listen, I'm black.
Is that his daughter? Candace Owens thinks it might be his brother's daughter.
Funky Broja, I hope I said that right. How you doing? It says Candace Owens had an Asian man who's known Kamala for years. He said Kamala is working with the cartel. So I don't know. Listen, I just want to say allegedly because I don't want to. I don't have any inside knowledge of that at all, so I don't want to go on record because this is the first I've heard of it. So I just want to put allegedly that that's what's being said. That is true. You know what I mean?
No, I think he's mixing that up. It is alleged that Kamala's mother, who was a PhD scientist type lady, she was working on the MK Ultra program, which is a mind altering control program that ran through the CIA. So not the cartel, the MK Ultra program, which is a factual program, but it's alleged that Kamala's mom was working on that program.
Got you. So it's a lot of stuff out there. Just really at this point, really kind of hard to fact check it all. Diane says, I didn't receive a stimulus check. So you just want to just let the record reflect, right? All right. So let's go down. TIU said they didn't need Republican vote to pass anything. Okay. And JJ says Indian community does not accept her. I've seen a lot of them say that. And I think somebody even interviewed her auntie and they asked her about her blackness, and she said no comment.
No comment.
No, we ain't gonna do that. But she said, no. She said no comment. So I don't know. Master Guy, says our presence challenges their existence. Okay, Sister Shirley, how you doing? Says please don't be bamboozled or hoodwinked by Kamala Harris. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of these Democrats. Yep. Miss White, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. LaRonda, how you doing? Says, I voted for Trump today. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people said that they did. I mean, it could be very telling. And guess what? As I said, I see a lot of black women saying that they are voting for Trump. And, they mad at the black man, but the Trojan horse might really be the black woman. I don't know. Lady Diana says that burning was in Portland, Oregon, and Vancouver, Washington. So you're talking about the ballot boxes. Okay. Kelly says Kamala acts like a spoiled princess. I can see why you would say that. Gary James, how you doing? Brother Reggie says, oh yeah, JD Vance is going on Joe Rogan tomorrow. Yeah, he's going on there. Barney says, I just wonder if she's dangerous like Hillary. I don't know. That really remains to be seen, right? Well, some people would say yes. Of course, if you look at what's going on in the Middle East, some people would say probably more so.
Yeah, Lavina Perkins, when you get there, she has a really good comment, and I'm very sure you can answer some of her questions that she says, because it's very telling what she's saying. When you get to it, just let me know.
Got you. Jay says, and hello, CJ. See how you doing? You said, Jay says, Trump's disastrous economic policies and tariffs are gonna cost each of you $4,000 plus US for starters per year. Good luck so much for MAGA, not for you, just for him and his cronies. Well, I want to say this as well. Joe Biden and them are talking about tariffs too, raising tariffs on China as well in regards to Temu, Shein,
and some of the tariffs that Trump left are still in place that Biden left in place.
Correct. And people talk about the tax cuts, breaks that he's giving to millionaires and billionaires. Well, Kamala was fact checked on that as well and said he also gave tax breaks to everyday citizens as well. So, I mean, I don't even know what else I need to say about that. But
yeah, and Jay, that's a great question you put up. Like I said, we have great conversations here, but you're worried about these little tax breaks. Why aren't you worried about the trillions of dollars it's going to cost us to house and feed and clothe these migrants that have been brought in here by the millions? Why aren't you worried about that?
Yeah, so I see some of y'all also talking about the cartel. Y'all, this is the first I'm hearing about it. I guess I have to look into it. Sandra, how you doing? Let's see. Gary says, I don't, but if Obama had a recession on his arm, there's no way. Okay, I know what you're talking about. A white woman on his arm, there's no way he would become president. Yeah, that wasn't gonna fly, because again, they believe that the black woman is the backbone of the Democratic Party, and so they got to appease her. So yeah, he could not have been walking around with a woman that didn't, with a woman that looked like his mama. All right, so I see, Pop, I be wanting to read your comments, but I have to stop and read yours because you crazy. Extreme excess. I'm glad people are finally seeing what Trojan horse Obama is. Yep. Lavina says, for me, I'm more concerned about the racist antics and hatred Trump spreads than who she's married to. That concerns me more. Ultimately, for me, I have the biggest issue with their being no accountability for officers when they unlawfully kill people. It happens regardless of who's in office, but to know them being prosecuted would not happen under Trump. Okay, and then your comment kind of cut off. Okay, so
wait, let me answer that real quick. We had the George Floyd bill that was passed by the Kamala Harris Biden administration. Of course, it had no teeth, and it pretty much turned into a LGBTQ discriminatory type bill. You had the Emmett Till bill. Has no teeth, people are still getting killed or whatever. So I agree with you that, both parties, do whatever they do and somebody's going to be killed. But the Democrats promise things and they don't follow through. As a matter of fact, Joe Biden said that he was going to build a presidential commission, federal commission on police tactics in the United States. Whatever happened to that? How come we don't hold the Democrats accountable for what they promise? Maybe we would get some results.
And also, I just want to piggyback on that. You say you're concerned about the antics and hatred that Trump spreads than who he is married to. Well, I mean, they all spread hatred and racism, whether they're on the right or the left. But as I always say, listen, I'm not a Trump supporter, but nobody was concerned about Trump being racist until he became a Democrat. I mean, a Republican. Trump was a Democrat for a lifelong, up until 2014 or so. And then when he became a Republican, then the Democrats had a problem with him. But he was a Democrat when the Central Park 5 was going on. It was a Democratic prosecutor. It was Democratic judges. It was Democrats that went after the Central Park 5. But again, he wasn't racist then, but he's racist now. And I'm not saying Trump don't say anything that's racist. They all do, especially that of Joe Biden, who says, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. You know what I mean? And what else is more racist than Kamala Harris, who, when she was asked about reparations and doing something specifically for black people, she says, no, I'm not going to do nothing that specifically benefits black people. No, but yet we watch her turn around and do something specifically for everybody else. Now I know some people say, well, she's the vice president, she can't do nothing, but you tell her that, because she runs around talking about the things that she's gotten done or whatever the case is. And then the other thing you said, no accountability for officers basically when they unlawfully kill people. Well, let's go all the way back to 2012 when Trayvon Martin was killed under the Obama administration. And he said, well, I'd be concerned if I had a son, blah, blah, blah. And he didn't do anything at all. In fact, he issued, and Lavina, I know you live here in Texas. About a couple of weeks ago, I know you got woken up to that blue alert that let you know, and they just caught the guy, from what I understand, that there was a cop shooter, if you will, on the loose. Somebody shot a police officer with that blue alert. Let everybody know to be on the lookout for this guy that did that to the officer, is also to let the officers know that, hey, there's somebody out there's doing that to y'all. And Obama signed that into law. But his attorney general, Eric, his last name skips my mind.
Holder.
Eric Holder. Yes, thank you. He said, well, we don't see nothing here as far as the DOJ getting involved with prosecuting that of George Zimmerman. That was Obama, a Democrat. So when we talk about letting cops get away with it, hell, there was a whole lot of things that happened to Black people under the Obama administration, and they didn't do nothing about it at all. So yeah, you talk about Trump, and let's also remember too, people forget that while Trump did say that it qualified immunity, and then he's clarified that it depends on what the case is. He's only can do anything on the federal level, just like that George Floyd Justice and Policing Act now, then that has not even been passed by Congress. That's only on the federal level. That's CIA, Border Patrol, FBI, border agents. That's not your state and local police officers. So again, we also got to be educated about what we're saying. And again, that's a lot of Democrat talking point, but the Democrats let a whole lot of people get away that harm Black people, and nobody said nothing about it. But when Trump is, says the quiet part out loud, and all of a sudden people are scared, I don't know.
Well, 2025, I mean, she's talking about the division and stuff, that and the racism and stuff. What's the Democratic policy when it comes to family values? Get the man out of the family, right? So you get the division between men and women and stuff like that. Who preaches that? That's the Democratic mantra. They're telling Democratic women, you don't need your husbands, you don't need your men. Do you want to know one of the reasons why Black women in the United States are the most homeless in the United States? Because they ain't got no man with them. Most married people ain't worried about being evicted. It's the single mothers that are worried about being evicted with their children. So this is Democratic policy when we talk about all this division that is being sown in within the party. And you bring up a great point, but it's amazing how we look at the other party, which is fine. You could point that out to the other party, but you're not a member of the other party. You're a member of I'm assuming you're a member of the Democratic Party. You got to look within before you worry about what's going on without. The old saying, take care of home before you worry about others. So whenever I see people say that, and I'm saying, well, what do you think the Democrats are doing? And like you did say, both parties do it. So what do you do in a situation like that? Do you keep voting the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result? Or do you do what I did? You become a recovering Democrat and you become an independent, and then that way you can pick and choose what is best for your wallet, your family, and yourself.
Absolutely. And hello to everybody that's come on here. And Thunder says they're trying to use Puerto Rico as a talking point, but did you know that Puerto Ricans that live on the island aren't allowed to vote in the U.S. in the presidential election? Absolutely. I did know that, and it's kind of crazy. But my thing is, to Sunny Hostin, who was on The View, she got all snazzy talking to Trump about talking about her people, and it wasn't even Trump; it was the comedian, but she called out Trump, and it was like, wow, you sure got a lot of energy for that man talking about Puerto Ricans, but you sit right next to a Black woman who sat up and let her white man put on blackface and roast her. But you didn't get mad about that. Whoopi let what's his face? Ted Danson, is that his name?
Ted Danson. Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Ted Danson.
Yeah. She was married to him, I guess. He had on blackface, and she just thought that was so funny. But yet, Sonny, you ain't say nothing about that. It's like selective outrage at this point. It's like, but they know people will fall for that. Oh, he said this, that. Anyway, somebody says if they really cared about Puerto Ricans, people, they would change that and give them statehood. Yeah, exactly. Let's see who else came on here.
Well, technically, they don't have to give. Well, maybe you get them said, but that's not going to happen because they still are a territory of the United States, and they're entitled to all of those rules and regulations, except to vote in a presidential election. Sunny Hostin, most of the time, she's talking about she's a Black woman, and it depends on what type of day you catch her. I know she's an Afro-Latina, but it depends on what kind of day you catch her. And, Puerto Rican, they have their own culture and stuff like that, but they're just as American as anybody else.
Yeah, it's just, technicality somehow, whatever, but they're part of America.
Guamanians have the same exact situation as Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, and so you say the Democrats are trying to use the same talking points when Hillary had a problem with the white men voting for her. They're trying to say the same thing about black men not supporting Kamala. But, it was Nina Turner who made a good point. Black men vote more so for the Democrats than any man here in America. But somehow the black man is getting on the hook for not going all in for Kamala. It's insanity. But, back in the day, it worked. It's not working as much anymore because they're getting called out on the nonsense. All right, let's see here. Moving right along, the original man of the world. How you doing? Says one of the best new black media broadcasts on YouTube. Dimitri and Donovan. Thank you. Love and appreciate you for that. Let's see. Troy says, I don't like the fact that the Democrats have been trying to say that black men are not voting Democrat because we're supposed to be male chauvinists. Yeah, they done labeled y'all all kind of thing. Obama especially said y'all don't like, y'all basically said y'all the misogynist. Y'all don't want to vote for a woman. It's like, did they tell you that, Obama? Or maybe they're like, nah, Obama, we got hoodwinked by you twice. And then you probably admitted that you knew you didn't do nothing for black people, but you did something for everybody else. Might you be the reason, partially, why they don't want to vote for Kamala? I know that's true for a lot of black people. Like, no, ma'am. You're going to be the second coming over Obama, where you look in our face and say, I'm not going to do nothing that just benefits black people. No. And they get mad because black people say, well, you told me no. I'm going to tell you no. See, me personally, I'm not in the habit of telling people yes who tell me no. That's never been my thing. So that also says that Kamala and Obama think that they better than everybody else. Yeah, we come around telling you common black people no. But you better not tell us no, or we're going to get up on our soapbox and shame you. See, that ain't working no more.
Well, you know what it is, Dan. Let's just be common sense here. Let's just talk plain, folks. Let's make it plain. We're chumps. We put them first. They put us last because we're chumps. Malcolm X said that over 60 years ago.
Sure did. So you a political chump and a football, right? Political football. If you keep falling for the okie doke, especially with that of the left. So I lost my spot. Here we go. Okay.
And we've just shown people the power that we have. That 15 or 20 something % of black people that walked away from the Democratic Party, male and female, look how quick Kamala put up a black agenda because she saw the hemorrhaging of people that are not going to vote for her. That's only 15 or 20%. Just think in the next election cycle, if 30 to 40% of black people say, you know what, we're not sure about the Democratic Party. We're going to sit on this fence until you give us something. Think how much power we have then, because what is politics about? Money and power. That's it.
Yep, money, power, prestige. You're right. Brother Maxwell, how you doing? Long time no see. Says Kamala Harris was a deciding vote for taxes on tips. She was also the head of foreign affairs and and the borders are. She wasn't powerless. Yeah, but her supporters say, well, she was just the vice president. What could she do? She couldn't do nothing. It's like, oh God. Whew, I can't wait till this is over.
If you go to us.gov and you look up the border czar thing, it's an official House record. Just put it in there, Google search it, whatever. You're going to see in the official government papers where she was designated the border czar. That is a official government record. And it explains exactly what her job entailed and what she was supposed to do. But see, they don't bring that up because they know most of you guys, even though you have a damn smartphone right in your damn hands, you're not going to Google it.
Yep. Reggie, how you doing? Says I might not get into Donald Trump's club. I definitely don't want to get into Tampon Tim's club or the LGBTQ club or the feminine club or the sassy man club or the tree jumpers club. But dang, I also saw a report too of Tim Walz. I guess he had some sort of a illicit romance with somebody's daughter in China. And
Chinese,
yeah, she said he made her feel like a prostitute because he kind of just got what he needed to get and got on. This was in 1989. But again,
that means he was still in the guard. He was in the Army Guard. So that means us military men, salute. We are still spreading democracy around the world.
Yeah, I mean, but ain't nobody gonna say nothing about that, right? All right, so let's see.
Wait. Speaking of salacious things, whatever happened to that woman that alleged Donald Trump did something to her recently?
Yeah, that kind of came and went. Like, you know, they're trying to find a whole lot of stuff. Mission Vision, how you doing? Demaria, what's going on with you? Says Whoopi is a whole joke. I mean, I'm just saying they don't have nothing to say about that. Hey, Frederick, how you doing? Brother Reddy says Sonny is just as fake as Kamami. Joanne, how you doing? Says if Judge Joe Brown says she's involved with the cartel, I believe it. I would explain it. Rather would explain all the immigrants, Venezuelan coming in here with U.S. back door wide open plus being paid. How could she not? I just, you know, I'm not one of those people because I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I understand people are saying. I just don't want to get in trouble for, you know, furthering something people are saying without knowing myself. If that helps. Barney says, why can't we get a good presidential candidate for poor people like he says Phil, Demetria, or Vicky, who's running this stuff anyway? Both are no good, right? Holla from Fresno, California. I know I wouldn't want to be president. I don't know about Brother Phil or Sister Vicky. But
well, see, you know what? And you bring up a good point with that. If you look at the recent, in the last 40, 50 years of these candidates, local levels, whatever, you're getting the bottom of the barrel type people that have no scruples and they just want power and influence. We're not getting these no hold bar type candidates we used to do back in the day. And why is that? Especially in the Black community, because everybody's afraid to take a bullet. Everybody's afraid to be unapologetic. And that's the problem. We're getting to the bare bottom people. Look at these mayors across the country. Look at the DAs in Baltimore and in Atlanta. Unfortunately, in a lot of these places, these are Black women that are being prosecuted by the Democratic DOJ that are being prosecuted. But these people are low-level people because the real people that really have some sense and have some care and aren't interested in the power. The thing is, what I think it is nobody wants to put themselves through that and not be appreciated at the end of it or be stigmatized and, you know, messed up. I always say this. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I believe everybody has a price. I believe that. Everybody could be bought. Beyonce just did allegedly a 5-minute speech and got paid $10 million allegedly. I'm going to tell you guys, I ran for office twice. If I got a $5 million white envelope, I would have sold out too. I'm just saying, to run my family name into the ground for $5 million, I don't think anybody would have blamed me for doing it and then walked off into the sunset. We are getting the bare bottom type of people. And how many of you guys saw the movie Wall Street? We're being inundated, and we know the media is controlled mostly by Democratic businesses and families and stuff like that, right? What did Wall Street, Gordon Gekko say? Greed is good. And that is where we're at. We've been indoctrinated with make money, make money, make money. And I'm going to tell you guys how true this is. How many of you guys have family members that are 70-something years old and are still working? Why are they still working? They retired from their company. Some of them are veterans and getting a veterans check. They're getting Social Security, but yet they're still working. How much money do you need? We've been indoctrinated now to work until we are dead. That makes no sense. So you are an economic slave to the system.
Anthony, hey, Miss Jackson, how you doing? Y'all still out there fighting in Chicago? I didn't. So I know I noticed that I muted myself and I was like, oh, okay, why did I do that? So anyway, I was saying hi, Miss Jackson. All eyes are on you guys in Chicago. I know y'all said y'all gonna flip it red, so we definitely are watching. And I wanted to go back. Let's see this comment here. Satra, how you doing? It says hi, Dimitri K. What's your email? I found on an article in reference to Trump restarting federal executions. Federal death penalty has not been done in over 50 years. That's not true. It has not been. The last time one was done, it actually was when Trump was in office in 2021, and it was a 17-year hiatus before that. Now, I also see a lot of people talk about when President Trump, Donald Trump, was out the door when he lost the re-election, that he did execute 5 black men. That is an absolute fact. But what they do not tell you is that it was a total of 13 people, and he, I think, executed 6 white people first. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm not laughing because it's funny, but I'm saying, you know, they paint that as if he just did that to black men, but it was 13 people. Like I said, the first 6 or so people, and one I think was a woman, if I'm not mistaken, they were white people. So it's like, tell the whole story, but no, it hasn't. It's not 50 years, it's 17 years. And in 2021, former President Donald Trump was, fed up pulling the switch, federally speaking. So I hope that helps. Let's see. Gwendolyn, how you doing? Says Sunny Hobson has lived her life on the mainland while she is talking about her beloved Puerto Rico. How much has she done to help citizens? Bet she is not trying to live there. I thought about the same thing when she was, getting all snazzy and snooty and stuff, all of that. Let's see. Patricia says, as VP black woman, you said quote unquote black woman, Kamala did not advocate for the Omnibus Maternal Act. Black women have a higher maternal mortality rate over 4 years. Kamala did nothing. Yeah, but she talks a lot about it now. You crazy in the mixed radio. You crazy. Hey, Herschel, how you doing? Charming baby, how you doing? Says, no, I noticed no one is saying anything about Project 2025. Well, they're not. I'll say this. People aren't talking about it like they used to talk about it because they were trying to say it was Trump's project, and he vehemently denounced it, says that I know very little about it. Even the guy who is the author of from the Heritage Foundation says I've only bumped into him a couple of times or whatever, but I think the Democrats have to back up off of that lie because it kept getting debunked like it's not Trump's Project 2025. They kept erroneously trying to tie him to it, and they got fact-checked a bunch. So that's why they backed up off of it. But in regards to, nobody's really talking about it anymore. I guess maybe it's not important. Brown Eyes, how you doing? He says, Diddy-crats have something to hide. I heard Obama and Kamala are at those parties. Lord have mercy. I keep seeing the people trying to tie people to the Diddy parties. Listen, Diddy got a whole lot of issues of his own right now. BJ Riggs, he says, she white, so we know who she's aligned with. Okay. Who else came on here? Jessica, he says the bare bottom, low level politicians. Yes, indeed. Mr. Power Tools, how you doing? He says, I'm sorry, but I don't get nothing before our vote is Couch 2024 and beyond. And, you got until Tuesday to make that decision. So, but if that's what you want to do, it's your choice, right? Vincent, how you doing? Says Wall Street was my movie. Magnator, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Brother Samuel, what's going on with you? Hope you're having a fabulous day. Dear self, how you doing? Who else? Pam Jam says politicians run for office to get rich. Come on now. Now you get it. Brown Eye says my sister is 71 and she still works. Yeah, nobody should be working at the age of 71. That's just crazy, right? Nobody. Yes, Brina, shout out to Miss Jessica Jackson. And he said, I saw you on Dana's channel last night. You are amazing. Yes, like I said, we are watching to see if they're going to flip Chicago red. I really hope you do. If it's just Chicago, I hope that you do. Christina, how you doing? Says Michelle said the other day, women are being arrested for having a miscarriage. What? Read the facts on that case. The baby died from being left in the toilet and drowned. Why didn't she tell that part? That is horrible. Either way, it is horrible, right? Yikes. Brother Reggie said, I said it a week or two ago. Don't be surprised if Trump gets 25-30% of the black vote. Yeah, we'll know on election day, right? Herschel says, don't let Chicago turn into Los Angeles. Yeah, because it is on its way. Thunder says, question, speaking about working until we're dead, is there any chance you can do a show on retirement and our books on retirement? Yes, I'm going to bring Walter back on here. I just got to get him to sit down, but Walter would be the perfect person to have that conversation with, as he is an expert on all of that. Pam says, I know people 80 years old are still working, and that's horrible, especially when you have immigrants that come over here and they get all there is to get. They ain't got to work to do nothing. They just get it all. Education, food, housing, money, and you got people working till they 80 so they can put bread on the table. That's, but you know what the crazy part about that is? In our community, unfortunately, there'll be a lot of those people who are 80 will say, I got to vote for Kamala. I just can't see voting for nobody. I got to vote for Kamala, but it's like you, God love you, or people greeting at Walmart when you should be home with your great grandbabies at that point, right? But you still work.
Yeah, but the sad thing is they're taking care of their great grandbabies because all that time they were smoking weed with their kids and stuff, it became a problem and became addiction. And, and it's just something that's happening to a lot of families out here in the United States. I mean, I went to city council here in my city and I brought that up. Matter of fact, Daryl Terrell, who's running for mayor in my city, he came on my podcast and we talked about it. I said, is this by design? We have so many weed shops in my city. We're only 210,000 people that when I look at young people, they're walking around like zombies because whatever this stuff is laced with the fentanyl and all that. How many of you guys heard about that lady that worked at the Boys and Girls Club and she allegedly, her and her sons were a big ring of fentanyl dealers, or they're running a ring of fentanyl type stuff, drugs. But that's what I'm saying. We have gotten to a point where we glamorize criminality. Look at the movies, look at the music and all this other stuff. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. But what I'm saying is there's people that actually think these movies and these songs is real life. And in some cases, it is real life. But you got to distinguish reality versus entertainment. And unfortunately, I remember there was one year, I think there was like 4 bank robber movies, with the anti-hero. And I was just like, why is it that when a Black movie comes out, the only way the Black person could make it is either by selling drugs, pimping women, or bank robbery, or just outright murder? Have you guys noticed that when you look at it? It's just crazy. And don't even get me on the Tyler Perry stuff.
Yep, Smash says Kamala won the kids picked the president poll on Nickelodeon. That's really cute because believe it or not, I guess they are paying attention. So that's funny actually. Lady Diana says Kamala Harris wins. That shows me that the election can be stolen. We don't know. Let's see who else. Sugar Unique, how you doing? Says Harris will make a horrible president factually based on her horrible record and leadership. Now, imagine for any reason wicked Walls had to take her place. Then you can imagine a horrible and hell. Yeah. Thunder says, I think they see these early voting results and how many votes are going toward Trump, and they're in a panic mode, full panic mode. That could be it. Because I'm like, yeah, we're hearing about the people that are voting, but who are they actually voting for, right? The Marioli says there's really ask grown adults that are still scared of Project 2025. Yeah, and most of them probably haven't even read it. Nubian King, how you doing? Says, is Dump talking about giving us reparations that will make America great again? No, he's not. But again, for the ones that are way, way, way in the back, Republicans never talk about helping Black people. Well, I don't say never. They don't talk about helping Black people as much as the Democrats pretend to help Black people. And Black people don't give the Republicans the lion's share of the vote. We give the Democrats the lion's share of the vote. So with that being said, the fact that we help the Democrats the most, shouldn't they be helping us instead of helping other people? So it's not the fact that Donald Trump is not giving reparations. It's the fact that the party that we give our votes to are not giving reparations, but they give everybody else something. Again, they tell everybody else yes, while they tell us no. So again, that talking point, that question is not original. You guys keep asking that question. Is like a lot of people are voting for Trump out of protest against the Democrats. That's what that is. So
right. And Dimitri, you didn't even bring up the fact that the super state of California had a reparations task force that did all the study, $5 million of tax dollars that went to their buddies to study reparations, super majority state. And the Democrats didn't even bring it to the floor. The Negro Democrats didn't even bring it to the floor. That's the Democratic policy when it comes to reparations. So should I be mad at the Republicans who don't even bring it up? Or should I be mad at the Democrats who we give all of our votes to? Come on.
Yep, nobody wants to talk about that. They just gloss right over that. Angela, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Lady D, what's going on with you? Says problem is the baby boomers are dying out, so it's over with for the Dems. Well, yeah, and that's just kind of the circle of life, right? Let's see who else is on here. Lolo, he says everybody doesn't have a price, but we do love our families. Absolutely, I reflect my destiny. How you doing? Thank you so much. I love and appreciate you.
I'm gonna have to refute that. Everybody does have a price. When you go to work, what are you working for? A price. I mean, I know it's technical, but when I hear people say that, it's really disingenuous because everybody does have a price. When you go to work, if your job offered you $100 an hour, what, you going to turn it down because you don't have a price? No, you're going to take it. Everybody has a price. I mean, that's my whole thing. I know it's technical, but you got to look, critical thinking. I'm a critical thinker. Everybody does have a price. You're not going to work for free. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Let's see here. She says the Department of Homeland Security is searching for 600 Venezuelan illegal immigrant gang members throughout the U.S. Some are assaulting New Yorkers in Times Square. Mayor Adams refused to release the illegal immigrant crime report. He stated it would be available after the election. Everyone be on alert and safe. Right. Yeah, of course. He's like, nah, I'm already in trouble, so I can't really just be out there doing too much. Right.
Yeah. What he's trying to do is run cover and hopefully get back in good graces with the Democratic Party, so he isn't indicted. Well, he's already been indicted, but he isn't, the trial kind of goes away.
Right. Charming Baby says, I was talking about you on your show. I read it. Oh, got you. And Trump is in that book over 300 times. And the writer of the book are several the people who were in his cabinet. I don't know how many times exactly he's in that book, but that is a Heritage Foundation is a think tank. There's over 100 think tanks in Washington, whether they're independent, Republican, and Democrat. So they're more or less like, regardless of who the Republican candidate is or would be, we would like them to carry out this Project 2025. So it's not necessarily that it's catered to Trump. It's catered to the Republican candidate or president that would be in office. So, his is actually Agenda 47. That's the one that he does claim. So there you have it. Got you. Let's see here. Let's see.
What about Agenda 1865? Nobody keeps talking about that. They're still doing that to us.
Nubian King says, Dimitri, why do y'all take up for this racist dude? I appreciate you reading my comments, but these were thug lookings ain't gonna do nothing for y'all. Also, none of these parties give a damn about us. I didn't. Hopefully, you heard my explanation before that, and I'm not taking up for anybody. As I said, I'm unapologetically against Kamala Harris for a whole host of reasons, and I said one of them being that she completely lied about harming mothers in California that were arrested under her truancy law. I personally know one of the women, Sheree Peoples, and she's likened Sheree to a nobody. Said nobody was hurt. So, Kamala still hasn't admitted that she lied about that. Anyway, Corey and 48 TCO, did I say hello to you? Says no, Donovan, they're not Negro. There. Oh, you know what? Corey says, why can't us as Black men not vote for this woman on her policy? This woman is talking about a price gouging bill. We live in capitalism society. This woman didn't take economics 101, right? She gonna go in there herself and say, I said, get those tomatoes down to a reasonable price. Otherwise, it's gonna be price. Like, how are you gonna do that? How? And then do it now. If they price gouging now, people can't wait till after the inauguration in January for you to get in office and talk about, now let's get those tomatoes down. People are suffering at the grocery store right now as we speak. I talk to people all the time that says, I don't got it like I had it a couple of years ago. I got a family to feed and I got to go to the grocery store and think about what I could spend my money on. I wasn't having that problem before, but there she is talking about, I got the keys to freedom, but you got to get me in office before I use the keys. But she know that's going to work on people who are just in love with her being a so-called Black woman or her being a woman, her being a Democrat. But she's telling y'all, I got the power, and we know she does. She could go right over there to Joe Biden right now and say, hey, how you doing? Throw me a Hail Mary, Joey. I need you to get these prices down so that I can say our administration did something, especially since she said, oh, I'm not going to change nothing from the Biden administration. Can't see anything that I would do differently. If that's the case, I would think, with linear reasoning, that if you're not going to do anything different than Biden, then Biden would be all right with getting the goddamn tomatoes down in a grocery store. See, but again, they know that most people ain't going to take it that far. See, I'm one of those people, I like to do a little bit of deep dive analysis, just go below the surface. What's the cause of the cause, the root cause? I like to do that, but a lot of people won't do that. So
Right. And then, another thing she could do to help relieve, and when they talk about getting the money, Well, what did they say? They said, how are you going to pay for these things that you want to do? Well, Congress has to do it. We have to, they just have to do it. No, the correct and political thing to do is, how many of you guys realize we are at basically peacetime and the military budget is almost $1 trillion, almost $1 trillion. And we're not at war or major war, even though we give money away in arms and manufacturing. We're at $1 trillion. You know what I would have said as a candidate? Well, how I'm going to do some of these things is I'm going to cut the military budget by 1/3. Now, I know that might get her killed, but the point is, that's how you do it. You'd say, hey, we're spending all of this money over here when the American people need help and relief for whatever they need. But almost $1 trillion, and we're at peacetime. And the military is not the military it was during the Cold War. It's not the military it was in the 90s. It's not the military it was even in the early 2000s. So where is all this money going? To the arms manufacturers, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and all these other things. Boeing's got planes falling out of the sky. I don't mean to scare you guys if you guys are going to be traveling anytime soon. But all this money is going to these manufacturers, and yet the American people are suffering. I would cut the military budget by 1/3, and then take that money and use it to alleviate and spend some of the suffering in the American people.
Absolutely. One unique. Monique, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let me go back to this one comment. Let's see where to go. And hello to everybody that's come on here. Oh, Timothy, you saying, I think Kamala will give us Black Americans and everyone reparations. Well, she said that she wasn't going to do it. She said that, I'm not even making this up. She said, I got you, Donovan. She's cool with a study, but she said, I'm not going to do nothing specifically that's going to benefit Black people. No. So she said she wasn't going to do it, and she hasn't turned away from that. I mean, we don't need no study. Give us the money. If you're going to do it, do it. Do it now. Like, to me, if you got the power to do it, why wouldn't you help yourself out? If she wrote a reparation check, Trump wouldn't even be a conversation. But she ain't gonna do it. So I love your wishful thinking, but it ain't gonna come from Kamala. She gonna do it for everybody else though, but just not us. You know, she say suffer. And let's see. Dorothy says, I sincerely hope and pray she is not elected for president. I don't think I can stand for years of her and Walls. It's going to be very interesting. Hey, Al, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. You said so many Black people don't want Trump because of his felonies. Yeah, but again, felons can vote. Felons can vote in a lot of states. Of course, there's some stipulations here and there, but felons can vote. And if you're a felon and you've done it, I know he ain't been to jail. I don't know if Trump will go to jail, but felons, they've served paid their debt to society. So a lot of they can vote. So to use that as a talking point, it's like, hell, most of these people running around here, your Uncle Ray and Pookie felons, and you don't say nothing about them. You know what I mean? But if they was talking about voting for Kamala, you wouldn't have nothing to say. But it's Trump. Oh, he a felon. Why he shouldn't be able to vote? It's like, get some education about yourself. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. Brother Reggie says, salute to RFK Jr. for telling Cherry people's story the other day. She was in the audience too. Yes, yes, yes. That is my girl. And, you know, she needs to get her story out there. Let everybody know what was done to her by that of Kamala Harris, who says, nobody was hurt. Oh, no, nobody went to jail. You a lie. You a lie. And I'm going to say this to y'all out there. Because I've seen a lot of people talk about, oh, well, you know what, they should have sent their kids to school and all that other stuff. It's like, y'all want Kamala in office that bad to where you throw innocent Black women under the bus? And then you sit up there and talk about, well, no, the Black woman is the most disrespected, unprotected. In the words of Brother Phil, he said, Malcolm X wasn't talking about some of y'all. He was talking about the MGT and the, you know, respectable women in the 60s. But some of these, and I know I'm probably getting in trouble, but you know, I don't care nowadays. A lot of women, especially the sisters, throw that around. Yeah, that we disrespect. You disrespect yourself for one thing, but the other thing is, as I always say, the sisterhood is over. Ain't no sisterhood, because the sisterhood just disrespect Black women all day long. But you want to uphold Kamala because she gonna supposed to be the first Black woman to go into office, but you don't care what she did to Black women. I'm looking at you sideways, and I don't think you should utter another word talking about Black women when you don't care about what she has done to Black women. Shame on you.
Much less the Black community in California. It's a travesty.
Yeah, you know, what does she do? Well, you know, they were some criminals. They deserve to go to jail. I tell you. But then it's crazy. So it's like you want to throw Black people under the bus so Kamala can get in the White House and do more of it. But to be saying one time, oh, he's a felon and this, that, and the other, it's like, pick a struggle. Pick a talking point. You know what I mean? FM, how you doing? Says, let's be clear about that. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that only benefits Black people. No, that's exactly what she said.
But she gave $26 billion to her Asian brethren for incidences that really, in the FBI report, the most discriminated and most assaulted person in the United States is Black people. There was nowhere in that report where it said Asians.
Right.
But they got a bill.
Mean Street. You says Trump told Black, how you doing, by the way? Trump told Black model Miss Carrie Young, Trump dated, that she had gotten her beauty from her mother and her intelligence from her dad, the white side. Miss Herberman wrote, I mean, well, maybe what if it was true?
Yeah,
maybe
it's true. What if it's true?
But okay, Donovan, I like how you talked about critical thinking and how much time we got, because I haven't checked, but tell me right now how much time. Just because he said you get your beauty from your mama and your intelligence from your daddy, did he say her mama was stupid? Did he say her daddy was ugly? See, again, most people ain't gonna take the thought process. They're like, oh my God, he said she got her intelligence from her white daddy. Like, calm down. Like, imagine how much better the world would rotate if we just stopped and just take a moment. As I say in the nation, think 5 times before you speak. Just 5. You say, well, he didn't say her mama was stupid.
This is the most emotional election of all times. You've got the feminists, you've got the national, Negroes out there, negresses. I mean, you got the LGBTQ, you got the illegals. Everybody's getting emotional when it comes to all of this stuff. And the bottom line is, every election is the most pivotal in your lifetime, which is BS. Black folks, I'm just going to say this before I go, because I got to take my cat to the vet. I'm just going to say this. We have nothing to fear but fear itself. We are at the bottom of the economic scale. The Democratic Party's policy, you can see it. It's right in your face. They are prioritizing illegals over you. They can't solve the American homeless situation, but they can house these migrants. They can't help you get a couple extra dollars because you make too much money to give you some EBT so you can go get some food to feed your family, or much less yourself. But these people get thousands. They're doing it right in your face. And is this it's Democratic policy, but the Republicans are going right along with it. Critical thinking. These are both corporate bought parties. And I forgot who said this, but it's true. When you control both sides of the argument, who wins? I'm done.
Yeah. Quincy X, how you doing? Says, will we be doing a real-time election? You know what? The late great Gary Monroe, we did that. Yeah, it was a lot to follow. I'd like to come on perhaps after the results are in, because it'd be kind of hard to follow and talk to y'all at the same time. I don't know. I'd be interested in doing something like that, and we can discuss, the winner per se. Sabrina, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. So, bitch, stay winning. How you doing? I like that name. Oh, Leather Electric Card says, I love how you both sides, Trump this, Trump that. People don't realize you had 10 MF years to find a better candidate. You failed. So hush, let me enjoy my 4 years of financial recovery. Right. Exactly. But like you said, that y'all put up the worst candidate and then mad because people like, nah, I don't want to do that either. You know what I mean? That's like saying, here's a sand sandwich and dirt sandwich. Which one do you prefer? Anyway, so we're going to get out here. I just want to acknowledge everybody who's come on here. 6MK Live, how you doing? It says, common sense is not common anymore. You know what? I'm thinking about it. Allie, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. And everybody else that came on here. Donovan and I, we talked about doing a real-time thing. We don't know. It's something we have to kind of figure out. Donovan might have to go into hiding with his MAGA hat on and Kamala gets in office.
Damn, I was wrong.
Right. He might have to be sitting up eating some crows somewhere. I don't know. But we'll entertain it. I think it'll be fun to either say, well, brace yourselves. Either way, I don't know. We'll see. So we'll entertain it. But anyway, we'll love and appreciate y'all. Be back tomorrow. Same time, 5 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And Donovan, we hope your cat is nothing serious and that he's just, maybe got a cold or he just don't feel like it. So anyway, love and appreciate every last one of y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.